बड़ा बड़ा कहते हैं कि वो करेंगे ये करेंगे, पर जब से मैं एकेडमी में चल रही हूँ तब से मैंने उसे वैसे ही देखा है।
The world junior kickboxing champion hits out at government apathy.
देखिए बारिश से जब यहाँ पानी बरसता है तो गड्ढे यहाँ पे हो जाते हैं और विंटर में हम कुछ कर नहीं पाते।
A desperate plea for facilities to hone their skills. A request that was made even earlier, sadly ignored.
जिम का सामान होना चाहिए, जैसे यहाँ पर है बलून, पंचिंग ग्लास, किकिंग बैग, और एक इंडोर स्टेडियम चाहिए जो कि वहाँ पर नहीं है। कश्मीर में कुछ नहीं है, वहाँ की फैसिलिटी कुछ नहीं है।
Is the Jammu and Kashmir government listening? Will Tajamul Islam and other sports persons in Jammu and Kashmir get their due? That's our top focus story on India First. She's a young talent. She won laurels for India against all odds. And she's desperately seeking help from the Mehbooba Mufti government. So far, the army helped in bits. But what's the J&K government doing? We put that question to the State Finance Minister Hasib Drabu. We'll get you the answers on the show. Also on India First, India hits out at Pakistan's desperate attempt to declare Gilgit and Baltistan as Pakistan's 5th province. This is illegal because Gilgit and Baltistan are a part of Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, an integral part of India. I'm Gaurav Sawant. We begin this broadcast with a video of 8-year-old Kashmiri kickboxing sensation Tajamul Islam. She is hit out at the state government for not providing adequate sports facilities. Now, in this video, Tajamul shows the situation on ground, the conditions in which sportspersons are forced to practice in Jammu and Kashmir. The government in the state have assured that sports infrastructure is being developed, perhaps as the government claims, for the first time.
एक इंडोर स्टेडियम नहीं दे पाए वो हमें स्टेट गवर्नमेंट से। मैं रिक्वेस्ट करती हूँ एक इंडोर स्टेडियम तो मांगा था।
Tajamul Islam is not just J&K's, but the country's youngest world champion. The young sports sensation who won the World Kickboxing Junior title would have been groomed for bigger awards anywhere else. But in Jammu and Kashmir, her talent and achievement clearly being ignored.
और आप देख सकते हैं कि हमारा मार्शल आर्ट्स अकेडमी का शट।
So much so that the young sensation was forced to make a video and hit out at the state of affairs in Jammu and Kashmir.
गड्ढे यहाँ पे हो जाते हैं और विंटर में हम कुछ कर नहीं पाते। सो जो जम्मू, दिल्ली वहाँ पे अच्छे हॉल होते हैं और वहाँ बारिश।
The child prodigy exposed the poor state of sports infrastructure by posting a video on social networking sites.
बड़ा कहते हैं कि वो करेंगे ये करेंगे, पर जब से मैं एकेडमी में चल रही हूँ तब से मैंने उसे वैसे ही देखा है।
Earlier, Tajamul had demanded an indoor stadium in her hometown, Bandipora, while speaking to India Today last year after becoming the world junior kickboxing champion. आपको और क्या-क्या फैसिलिटीज चाहिए?
मुझे बस एकेडमी की फैसिलिटी चाहिए और एक इंडोर स्टेडियम चाहिए जो कि वहाँ पर नहीं है। हमने आपको खुद देख के शर्माए देखिए।
Stung by young Tajamul's video, the state government is at a loss for words. The government insists sports infrastructure is being developed in the state, but will take some time.
I think it's a legitimate demand, or since it's coming from players and children of Kashmir.
This is Sher-e-Kashmir International Stadium of Srinagar, the only stadium where an international match was played, cricket match was played back then in 80s. And let's have a look at this place. On my left hand side are buildings which were supposed to be constructed long back, but they've been left midway. You can see their condition, and no one really is talking about it. On my right hand side, I can again show you there are pavilion areas, and they give you a glimpse of what their condition is.
The Mehbooba Mufti government may cite lack of funds as a reason for the poor state of sports facilities in J&K, But the argument falls flat when you consider it's spending a whopping 500 crore rupees to protect anti-India separatists every year. The question is, why can't the splurge on separatists be diverted towards achievers like Tajamul Islam?
Tajamul Islam story has thrown the spotlight on the functioning of PDP-BJP government in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Many people are asking questions as to where exactly do the priorities of this government lie. There have been instances of favors being granted to separatist leaders and their children, but when it comes to ensuring facilities for young sportsmen in the valley, there seems to be no interest. With cameraman Jahangir, Shujaul Haq in Srinagar for India Today.
Good point there raised by Shujaul Haq. Government stands accused of going out of the way and helping separatists and their children, spending crores on their security. Where is the money and the speed with which facilities should come up for our sporting greats? Now, last year, Tajamul Islam won the Junior World Kickboxing Championship for India. She spoke exclusively to India Today. I interacted with her extensively and asked her what is it that she'd want to bring even bigger laurels to India. She wanted one indoor stadium in her hometown Bandipora. She said she's not the only one. She had better opportunities. There are many, many hidden talents like her across Kashmir. This is my interaction with her, a small chunk. The golden girl of kickboxing in India, the brightest star on the horizon, Tajamul Islam. She's all of 8 and she is the world champion in kickboxing. Tajamul joins us at the India Today gymnasium. She is on India First. आपने India First कर दिखाया?
Yes sir.
कैसे किया?
टैलेंट से, जुनून से और हिम्मत से.
टैलेंट, जुनून, हिम्मत और लगातार प्रैक्टिस. आप मुझे अपने प्रैक्टिस के बारे में बताइए.
प्रैक्टिस सर कराते थे, हार्डली बहुत हुआ करती थी जब मैं फर्स्ट टाइम हुई, तो कैंप में भी इधर बहुत हार्डली हुई. हार्डली कैंप होता था, नॉर्मल कभी नहीं होता था. बस फिर जब शाम हुआ करती थी, बस कूल डाउन नॉर्मल गो.
तो आप 8 साल के हो. 8 साल में इतनी किकबॉक्सिंग की कि पहले आप नेशनल चैंपियन बने, फिर वर्ल्ड चैंपियन बन गए. ये बहुत भारी है. इस पे ऐसे किक करना और पंच करना, दर्द नहीं होता हाथ पैर में?
जी दर्द नहीं होता. जब पहले श्रृंगत बन जाती है और स्ट्रॉन्ग बन जाते हैं और फ्लेक्सिबल हो जाते हैं तो दर्द नहीं होने लगता. सब कुछ स्ट्रॉन्ग है, फ्लेक्सिबल इसलिए.
कितने घंटे रोज आप प्रैक्टिस करते हो?
जब स्कूल होता है तो 7 से लेकर 6 या तो 7 आम चलता रहता है. 6 से लेकर 8 तक. फिर स्कूल की तैयारी वहाँ से होके आती हूँ, फिर हो जाता है चेंज वगैरह, फिर वैन आ जाती है, चली जाती हूँ स्कूल. वहाँ से आके 3 बजे से लेकर 6 बजे तक.
अच्छा, तो मतलब लगभग 2 घंटे सुबह और 3 घंटे शाम, हर रोज, संडे हो या मंडे, कोई छुट्टी नहीं?
कोई छुट्टी नहीं जी, बस
तपस्या है बिल्कुल. अच्छा, ये बताइए आपने किस किस देश के किक बॉक्सर को हराया वर्ल्ड चैंपियन बनने के लिए?
कनाडा पहले हुए, अब उसने भी अच्छा खेला. फ्रांस, इटली, जापान, चाइना, यूएसए,
सबको हरा दिया
जी.
डरे नहीं?
नहीं.
आपको और क्या क्या फैसिलिटीज चाहिए?
मुझे बस एकेडमी की फैसिलिटी चाहिए. जैसे हमारे पास बलून नहीं है और जिम जो है वो सामान होना चाहिए. फैसिलिटीज़ जो है वो है नहीं वहाँ पे पूरी. जिम का सामान होना चाहिए, जैसे यहाँ पर है बलून, पंचिंग ग्लास, किकिंग बैट, और एक इंडोर स्टेडियम चाहिए जो कि वहाँ पर नहीं है. ठीक से रोड होना चाहिए और हॉल होना चाहिए एक, जिसमें हम अच्छी तरह प्रैक्टिस कर पाए, गर्ल्स कर पाए, बॉयज़ कर पाए अच्छी तरह से. वो होना चाहिए. बस मैं कहना चाहती हूँ. और जो भी कश्मीर में कुछ नहीं है, वहाँ की फैसिलिटी कुछ नहीं है, और वो होनी चाहिए.
तजम्मुल, wish you all the best. Very very proud of you. Very proud of you.
Thank you sir very much.
आपने पूरे देश का नाम रोशन किया और जैसे आपके पापा कह रहे थे, आप असल में भारत का ताज हो.
Thank you sir.
But this pride of India, Bharat ka Taj, wants some very basic facilities. So I also spoke to her coach, Faisal Ali. What are the facilities that they're looking for? Very basic things like gym mats, gym equipment. It's not very expensive. It doesn't take long to set it up. It's the inclination that's required. All the focus is on cricket, he says let there be focus on other sports as well.
पहले मुझे इनको एक वो फीलिंग देनी होती कि खुद प्ले करना पड़ता है, क्योंकि सबसे बड़ा है वो माहौल वहाँ का, बांडीपुरा का जहाँ हम रहते हैं वो माहौल नहीं है स्पोर्ट्स का ऑलमोस्ट। तो पूरे इंडिया में जब बाकी स्पोर्ट लाइक क्रिकेट फुटबॉल उस पर कॉन्सेंट्रेट करते हैं। हाँ। लेकिन सबसे बड़ी बात है कि इनके पेरेंट्स को समझाना ये क्या है, डर लगता है अक्सर इसकी स्पंज से, तो लड़ाई का सिस्टम है ये ना होता है, बट ये एक्चुअली एक गेम ही है। मैंने पहले वो एक माहौल क्रिएट किया वहाँ पर। हाँ। और सबसे बड़ी बात है गर्ल्स के लिए वो माहौल क्रिएट करना, गर्ल्स के लिए स्टेडियम आना, उनको ये सब बताना कि ये सेल्फ डिफेंस, पहले तो सेल्फ डिफेंस के हिसाब से मैंने इनको टच कराया, बाद में आहिस्ता 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 जो थोड़ा बहुत इक्विपमेंट हमारे पास था उससे बच्चों को ट्रेनिंग करवाया। तो
But this is not just Tajamul Islam's story. Two of the biggest football sensations of Kashmir, they either play for Chennai or for Kerala. Why? Because there are more opportunities and more money in Chennai and Kerala. Kashmir's cricketing sensation, Parvez Rasool, we are told he's also exploring greener pastures elsewhere. Women in Kashmir are big time into sports, but the youth lack sporting opportunities and the arena. We get you voices of sports persons in the Kashmir Valley.
आज आप तो नहीं जा रहे, बारिश हो रही है?
हाँ, क्योंकि एकेडमी इसलिए नहीं, बारिश है तो वहाँ पे अब देखेंगे। अब ये जो इक्विपमेंट्स तो हॉल प्रॉब्लम, विंटर में ठंड तो अब छोड़ देते हैं हम, तो भी कुछ कर लेते, पर हॉल की ज़रूरत है बहुत, एक बड़े से हॉल की। अगर
आपको कभी कोई प्रॉब्लम हुआ? बहुत प्रॉब्लम हुई, क्योंकि वहाँ का छोटा सा शेड है, तो अब जो क्या शेड है वो भी टूटा फूटा है और पानी गिरता है, तो करे क्या। और हमारे स्कूल में जो इंडियन आर्मी है, तो अगर वो नहीं होती मैं तो जा ही नहीं पाती इंटरनेशनल। अब उन्होंने मेरी हेल्प की, उन्होंने पैसे भरे, रुपये सब कुछ, तो मैं शुक्रगुजार हूँ मैं उनकी। और जब वहाँ अब हमने स्कूल में एकेडमी खोली तो अब ज़्यादा परेशानी नहीं होती है, तो स्कूल में भी हम कर लेते हैं प्रैक्टिस, फिर एकेडमी में चले जाते हैं।
हम देखते हैं कि पहले तो हम कोई यहाँ एथलीट होता था, साइकिलिस्ट होता था, मार्शल आर्ट वाला होता था, मगर आज आप देखेंगे कि क्लब्स भरे हुए हैं। बहुत सारे जगहों पे अब ऐसे क्लब्स बन गए हैं कि जैसे यहाँ पर स्कूल जितने हैं उतने यहाँ पर स्पोर्ट्स क्लब्स भी है, फिटनेस क्लब पड़े हुए हैं रास्ते में। मगर खाली यही है कि स्पोर्ट्स डिपार्टमेंट, गवर्नमेंट उनको ज़्यादा ये तरजीह नहीं देते हैं, बैक नहीं करते हैं।
में इंडोर हॉल अवेलेबल नहीं है, हम कहाँ पे बच्चों को प्रैक्टिस करवाएंगे। मेरा स्कूल में 1 डे क्लास होता है, हाफ एन आवर, 1 घंटे का, उसमें मैं इनको क्लास लेती हूँ। लेकिन अगर हमें भी बाकी जैसे स्टेट्स को जहाँ पे उनको इंडोर हॉल्स अवेलेबल होते हैं, गवर्नमेंट प्रोवाइड करती है, वो इतने ये होते हैं, सीखने के जुनून होता है हमें, वहाँ पर मुझे लगा कि नहीं, हमारे यहाँ बहुत इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की कमी है। हमारे बच्चों में बहुत ज़्यादा टैलेंट है, कश्मीर के बच्चों में बहुत टैलेंट है, जो मैंने खुद देखा है। मुझ में भी टैलेंट था बहुत, लेकिन बदकिस्मती ये थी कि हमें गवर्नमेंट का सपोर्ट नहीं मिला।
यहाँ का मतलब जो भी स्पोर्ट्स खेलते थे, खासकर यहाँ एक ही चीज़ होता था, फुटबॉल में रोज़गार मिलता था, चाहे वो उसको छोटा मुलाजिम का रोज़गार मिलता था चाहे बड़े, मगर मिलता था। कम से कम 20 टीमें होती थी, 20 टीमों में कम से कम 100 लड़के रोज़गार मिलता था फी साल। आप देखिए पिछले 20-25 सालों में एक बच्चा रोज़गार नहीं मिला, जबकि हमारे यहाँ के स्टार प्लेयर जो है मेराजिन वोडू, कहाँ मिला नौकरी? स्पोर्ट्स काउंसिल में। ये शर्म की बात है, वो बहुत बड़ा अफसर होना चाहिए। इशफाक यूथ सर्विस एंड स्पोर्ट्स में एज अ कोच। अच्छा, वो जो क्रिकेट प्लेयर है हमारा यहाँ का टॉप प्लेयर जो है परवेज़ रसूल, उसको भी स्पोर्ट्स काउंसिल में नौकरी मिल गई है, मतलब एज अ कोच। वो अच्छी बात नहीं है। कम से कम जिसने कंट्री को रिप्रेजेंट किया वो कम से कम अच्छे ओहदे पे होना चाहिए।
And Jammu and Kashmir's Finance Minister Hasib Drabu has reacted to this India First special. He, of course, has hit out at Tajamul Islam's coach for inciting the young talent to speak against the state. He said that efforts are being made. He said, and I quote, her coach must have told her to do so. Small kid is being guided by her coach, unquote. Of course, Hasib Drabu also said that the state government is doing enough for sports and has sanctioned 80,000 crore rupees for sports. India Today's Devina Gupta spoke to Hasib Drabu. Let's listen in.
But as you are the Finance Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, this is a pertinent question, that why is it that a lot of sports facilities are not given their due? She's gone on Facebook or live as well, and she's...
It's a small kid, I don't know how she's been guided, but the fact is that if a state has gone through what it has gone through for the last 27, 28 years, sports facilities were, used by forces, security forces to stay. I remember the biggest stadium in Srinagar, the Bakshi Stadium, was with the army and the CRPF and security forces, right? They were kind of living there. It's been just recently now made open for public. So there is no denying the fact that sport infrastructure has been damaged in all kinds of activities that have happened there. And we have been making efforts to upgrade it. It can't come up overnight. But let's not make Tajamul Islam a thing on this. It's a generalized factor that sports infrastructure is poor and dilapidated. That's all.
So what will the government do from here on? Do you believe that she's been guided, as you're saying? Do you believe there's a vested interest?
It's not about vested interest. I'm just saying there's a small kid must have, the coach must have said this or whatever. The fact is that, there are better indicators of you go around the city, you'll see it for yourself. That there, I don't think even now we have a good AstroTurf. But I think the Youth and Sports Service Department has been doing commendable work. The Sports Council has been working on it. We have been having a lot of tournaments there. Yeah, I think it will pick up. I think the focus of this government also has been youth engagement, because that's the real centre of activity. And for that purpose, a lot of infrastructure will be built.
Well, what about the funding, sir? Do you believe centre should give out more funding for...
I think enough and more funding coming from centre. 80,000 crore package was done.
So then where is the lag, sir? Where is
Time. It just happened, right? It's not even 6 months before the package started, so we didn't need time to build up those things. So it doesn't happen overnight. They didn't have the package of 80,000 crores.
And now this government...
So last question, why do you think that GST shouldn't be implemented?
India Today's Devina Gupta, who got us that India First exclusive, joins me on the broadcast. Devina, did Hasib Drabu share details about what's the timeline, what are priorities? Youth engagement clearly is. You can't have youth pelting stones. They need to play sports. But how are they going to wean the youth away from stone pelting and get them to play sport?
Well, interestingly, Gaurav, it was only in December last year that Mehbooba Mufti had asked Centre for more funds for sports facilities. This year, the Centre in the budget has earmarked 75 lakh just for sports alone in Jammu and Kashmir in the budget season. And also, let's not forget the 80,000 crore package that Hasib Drabu has referred to has been the central aid. But where is that money going is a big question, because if the child is coming out, and if Tajamul Islam has said with her Facebook video, all Hasib Drabu kept saying was that this particular video is guided by her coach. She's just a child, but imagine a child who's been the pride of the nation, who's won laurels for the nation, and yes, she knows as an athlete the facilities that is not being provided by Jammu and Kashmir administration. And I, for one, when I was interacting with the finance minister, and I kept asking him that what about the 80,000 crore package that's been given? How much more time? How many more Tajamul Islams that we'll have to see being trained under a bare minimum condition before we can have a winner? He really did not have any answer to the timeline or the deadline or any kind of a plan that the state government is working for.
Let me also quickly bring in India Today's Shivani Gupta for more on the story. Shivani, you cover sports. Now, when we talk about Jammu and Kashmir, now, are we expecting a lot more? How does Kashmir, J&K fare, comparing it to other states in the country?
Gaurav, there's no denying that the state of sports in Jammu and Kashmir are lacking than other states in India. The state is what it will be when a state is terror-stricken. There's no denying that that Jammu and Kashmir is in strife, and the government there, both locally and at the centre level, at the sports ministry level, is trying to take sports as a medium to bring disgruntled youth into the mainstream. But Tajamul especially would be disappointed, as she has mentioned in her video, because kickboxing is not really a high priority sport. And while there are other sports that get coaching and training and have some facilities to speak of, kickboxing is lower on the totem pole. It's ironic that even as we speak, there's the biggest sports carnival going on in the state, where 3,000 participants are there from rural areas in a hope that they can identify some grassroots talent. Now, even recently, the sports minister himself had sanctioned 200 crore rupees for the refurbishment of sports infrastructure in Jammu and Kashmir and the building of as many as 22 sports halls fresh from scratch as facilities for practice, etc. But we'll just have to wait and see just how much this effort seeps down to the grassroots level and whether more and more youth in the state are encouraged to pick up sports.
Okay. For the moment, Devina and Shivani, many thanks for joining me on India First. We, of course, will continue to track that story very, very closely. Tajamul is India's pride. So are our sportsmen and sportswomen from Jammu and Kashmir. They deserve the best. I now want to shift focus to India's most iconic ideas forum. The India Today Conclave is back, and for the first time, Mumbai will experience the annual India Today Conclave 2017 tomorrow and day after, the 17th and 18th of March. 2 days of talking, thinking, experimenting, doing and being. Our theme this year is the Great Disruption, reflecting the changes sweeping across India and the world. Let's get you a preview.
The restoration of democracy is a cause dear to my heart.
The world recognized the immense tragedy of Afghanistan.
We don't think there is terrorism going on in Kashmir. We think there is a freedom struggle going on in Kashmir.
Dialogue cannot be pursued or sustained if terrorism continues.
The India Today Conclave has been the forum for the greatest speakers and minds over the years.
That the fundamental principle of democracy is there to stay.
India's future leadership in the world is essential.
For more than a decade and a half, we've made history.
That you and your colleagues have provided.
The India Today Conclave in the last 16 years has developed itself into a great forum for ideas and for leaders to come and talk about subjects which concern their mind and things which are affecting the world. Over the years, we've had leaders like Hillary Clinton, President Clinton, Pervez Musharraf, Benazir Bhutto, Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Dr. Manmohan Singh, Dr. Kalam, the Dalai Lama, Queen Raina of Jordan. So it's been a whole range of people from across the world who've come to our conclaves. And this, for me, has become a premier forum where we can invite all the leaders of the world who are concerned with the hot topics which are happening today.
The era of great disruptions is upon us. New certainties are giving way and new ideas are being born. The theme of this year's conclave, the Great Disruption, is reflective of this. So get ready for some great clashes as our stage becomes the microcosm for our disruptive world as we hunt for order in the chaos.
The India Today Conclave is a pioneer of events in India, and how it's evolved over the years shows us how we have changed as a people. Earlier, the India Today Conclave was all about keynote speeches and discussions behind desks. No more. In the 16th year, you see the India Today Conclave is all about Q&A and show and tells, demonstrations, premiere. In fact, it's not just about ideas anymore, it's about experiences.
Was he just a friend, or was he something more?
I thought he went to Cambridge and Oxford and we were going to have an intellectual discussion.
We've always set the trend of India Today shorts and the India Forum, the biggest names. India Today Conclave, setting India's leadership agenda year after year.